Hey, do you want to know things about the Feywild and the Fae? Well, I'm here to tell you about things about Feywild and the Fae. Crazy, it's almost like you clicked on this video. So, the reason why I decided to make this kind of video is because it's around the time of the season where there's tiny little elf decorations everywhere, and hey, in D&D those tiny little elves are a lot more menacing than you would think. Also, I wanted to try out this video because I was hella inspired by so many other people on this platform because oh my god, their content is great. So I'm trying my hand at it. Just another thing I thought I should let you all know, this is how I interpret the things that are listed in the D&D lore about the Feywild. There are like maybe 4 pages out there, and then also other sources and stuff like that have different ways you can interpret different creatures that live there and stuff like that. So this is just my idea and a rough comedic summary of sorts. So the thing about the Fae is that most of them are in or from the Feywild. The Feywild is one of those planes that's like an echo of the normal material plane, which means it's like normal world in D&D except off and different. So like maybe instead of finding like this one structure, you would find like a hill. If you think this is a place where you'd find your house normally, could be a mushroom. Who knows? Originally when the Fae was created by some primordials and some other power, probably of sorts, it kind of was existing for a while and then split off from the normal plane of existence, which is why it's kind of easy to access it compared to like the plane of fire where it's just like, you know, fire. And also, it can play into your campaigns being like travelers accidentally going into the Fae or things wandering out of the Fae. So also because of this, it's why so many people why people in D&D lore apparently know about it, but like I've said, there's like 4 pages of information about it, so us out here playing the game, we can do whatever we want. And one thing about these creatures is that they're smart, and you should trust none of them, because they will outsmart you, and they will mess with you anytime they can, because they use their puzzles, contracts, mind games, and more to mess with humans or whatever the heck, mortals. I'll say that, mortals. So the way time is processed in the Feywild is just like the creatures that inhabit the Feywild, which means they're tricky little sons of guns. Time means nothing, because what feels like 10 seconds might be 10 years. What feels like 10 years could be 10 seconds, or centuries, who knows? It's literally anywhere you go, it's a different time thing, and if you get back to the normal plane, you're lucky. Because another thing about it is that arcane magic is very, very common, which means most of the things in the Fae, if they use magic, they know how to use it, and they prefer to use that over most other things, and they will use that magic to make your life hard. So before I talk about more of those Feywild creatures that you probably are most aware of in D&D, because these monsters can be used literally anywhere if the DM can write it in properly, I want to get into some Fae lore stuff. So, some extremely summarized, basic plot of the Fae when there's not adventurers roaming around in it, right? So the elves and the Eladrin were created there, and they're created by this pretty cool, like, elf god dude, and they kind of just wandered wherever. Basically, one thing about all the planes of existence is that there's probably an elf species of some sort living there. So, they're existing, right? And then there's these 2 queens. There's like this light, happy summer queen, and then there's this dark queen, I guess. And one lives on like the surface area of the Fae, and then one lives in like the underdarkish, not underdark, more like a Feydark type area. And they both have like creatures that like them, and then creatures that don't like the other side. But the thing is that there's not a good or a bad side. It's hard to tell who's good and bad because they're both of those things. So anyways, if you get anything out of the whole Fae thing is don't trust the Fae, trust no one, whatever. So now we're gonna talk about the fairyland creatures and the Fae and what the heck live in it. So first off, we have the lovely treants. They are actually like not a mean Fae creature, and they're these tree people that just walk around and they help druids and they defend forests and wait. Okay, they're not actually Fae or from the Feywild. But this is a really good transition into the Team Trees initiative, because ooh boy, Team Trees. So if you haven't heard of Team Trees, Mr. Beast, who's a big YouTube person, made an initiative to try to plant 20 million trees by the end of the year. I've donated, and I'm making this little announcement in the middle of the video, because the Fae have to do with trees, and definitely the world's kind of going to crap right now, but hey, we may as well try something to help it. So yeah, go donate if you want to, and also I would highly recommend you donating. The environment needs help, but also like the D&D animation community is teamed up to support this. So yeah, there's people that are making content that has to do with Team Trees throughout the month of December. There's not actual deadlines or anything like that. We're just kind of releasing them whenever. So yeah, you can go check out the D&D Team Trees videos. I will try linking some of them in the description, but if I don't find them all, I apologize. Anyways, if you are interested in all that, you can go watch other people's videos, donate to Team Trees, help us out. Anyways, back to the content you were scheduled to watch. So, here's the segments of Fae creatures summarized by Tori G. First off, we have the Meanlocks, which are small, buggy, alien, psychic, corrupted transformation lads that live in the dark Fae areas. They exist because of people's dark thoughts, so they're pretty dang scary, but also kind of tiny. So next off we have Blink Dogs, which are just cute little dog lads that just blink around and teleport and are super cute, and they're actually one of the few trustworthy creatures in the Fae. And next up we have Yeathounds, or Yethounds, which are just blink dogs, but oh god, why does it have a human face? We have Boggles, who are oily little trickster thieves that can use oil to maneuver and make it oily or not oily. It's really weird. Then we have Chorids, who use rope to wreck people's lives, and then they also really hate dying, so they're horrible to kill. We have Quicklings, which are just tiny thief lads, and almost seems like stealing things is like a theme in the Fae. Darklings, which are cursed Fae lads that really don't like the sun, but also sometimes like the sun. It's really confusing, but hey, they're like evil dudes you could throw into games, so yeah. We have Redcaps, which are tiny dudes that are unexpectedly bloodthirsty killers, and uh-oh, it's out for murder! Oh, and speaking of murder, one of my favorite Fae are hags, because they're mostly Fae. There's some of them that aren't, but I'm gonna list all of them here anyways because they are very fun to throw into games. So here's a summary of hags in list form, because if you guys have listened this far, you're probably interested in this. So Annie's hags are large, evil, strong ladies that have the ability to change their appearance, but they can't change their size, I guess. But they love living in caves and wrecking people's lives. Then we have Beer hags, which I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm gonna keep it that way for now. But they're basically blue, evil, cold, icy, like frost witch ladies that kidnap people and do hag stuff, you know? Then there's Green hags, which are just basic trap-setting swampy witch ladies, like what you would think a hag would normally be, but this is the most generic one, but hey, you can throw them in swamps. There are Night hags, which are technically not Fae, but are a hag, and they're my favorite, so they're in this video, which are like evil hell voodoo abyssal nightmare ladies, and they're just hags from hell. They're great. So then there's also Sea hags, which are just wicked fish-looking ladies that do some spooky munching because most of them have terrifying mouths. I tried finding a good image that didn't have one, but all of them have very, like, demented fish mouths, and I appreciate the artwork. So, back to your typical Fae. So we have the Nereid, which are like water dryads, but watery and like water and live in the water. Sometimes look more like a mermaid than a dryad, sometimes look more like a dryad than a mermaid, but yeah, both appearances aren't wrong, it just depends on the artist. But you're probably wondering, what's a dryad? Well, a dryad is like a plant spirit lady creature. Lady or dude, it don't matter. They're creatures that protect plants and spirits and are typically nice unless you upset them or wreck the plant life nearby, and then you probably have angry dryads on your hands. We got satyrs, which are like the ones from Greek mythology, but are goat lads that like booze and doing the nasty, and I've seen some people play them as PC characters, but they're not an official race. And finally, we have pixies and sprites, which are both slightly similar and different, but fight and use magic and are tricky little tricksters. So that's some Fae creatures for you, and that's some stuff about the Feywild. I hope you guys took the information I spat out at a fast speed during this voiceover, and maybe you're inspired to add to your campaign or make a character. What's probably most likely is you enjoyed me drawing on note cards, rambling fast into a microphone. So yeah, go support Team Trees if you can. It would be great if we got it to its final goal in this like last end month stretch goal of sorts. And when the campaign is final, the internet had teamed together to do this, so it's pretty cool. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe if you want to. You don't have to do anything, and I will see you in my next artsy video of sorts. I hope you enjoyed the new video format, and bye!